Yeah, okay, great. There we go. Kind of moving the stick around here a little bit. A little more color. Kind of looks like a little overcast, like there's a little more rain. Oh, we got a lot more color there. I guess it depends where the perspective is. So anyways, I guess there are certain things I was kind of thinking about. Somebody I know, it's not feeling very good. Maybe possibly, in a little, well, it's kind of something everybody kind of goes through. Something that I kind of noticed, in the physical appearance. And it was, some kind of a diluting factor or something like that, I had a lot of pollution. It sounded like liquid in my brain. Kind of like wet brain. Other materialism and stuff. And it was kind of strange. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, but there was like a dark cloud. It's a real physical dark cloud that maybe only I can see. But they say when you're down, you're gloomy, there's a dark cloud hanging over me. But it was kind of filled with some other things too that were kind of strange. Things of concern, like the Kali Yuga is just one big ship on the sea that's bound for hell. So, there's like, the Yamajuda is just waiting for people to die, and people don't even know they're there, and they're going about all their crazy stuff anyways. And I'm like never even really thinking about a moment-to-moment existence, or on the interim between the past, present, and future, as well as other types of other states of relaxation and concentration on mantra meditation or something, deep absorption or mantra. So that's really what I wanted to get at. It's more like of a concentration. Get your mind off of something. Like I was, I had some relationships, and they were kind of flighty, there were some things that I didn't really know or really understood, that I guess they kept it hidden from me, but, they ended up getting in some really big trouble themselves, raped, left for dead, turns around, because it was illegal activity. She was on Narcotics Anonymous and probation, but she violated her probation and went to prison. You're talking about somebody that doesn't learn their lesson, it's like, what is it? Where the elephant comes on and takes a nice bath, and then he throws dirt all over his body again. Some people learn by intelligence, and some people just even by experience and direct experience and hearing and saying, still don't get it. But it's really more like kind of doing a positive development thing. Subhash used to tell me, he says, well, maybe Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is better for you. Maybe you should just do Buddhism. I don't know, maybe you should just go out of the program and go break the principles and go to the bar. But what's that going to do, man? That just makes matters worse. But it's pretty much, doing a constructive thing, thinking gardening, how about Tulsi gardening, or travel around with Madhukari, go around and make their breakfast, make their lunch, serve the Vaishnavas on Sankirtan. But, I was probably guilty of this thing. I was probably a Vaishnav aparad, there's probably some real big subtleties on there on that thing, but, we all carry some of our, I don't know, kind of like traits or something into our relationships and into our spiritualism and into our own personal things. We have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of programming or something kind of going on with just some kind of karma or something, some sort of understanding, misunderstandings, or specific perspective on things or something. There's a lot of things that, kind of need to be explored, but, I do see that there's a lot of trouble here, and when I get into things, I have dreams, I had this dream that, we are all captives, but, this person was held captive even more, and the captor even tossed water in my face. He was getting some water and putting glass and ice water for everybody, and he tossed the water in my face, and I laughed and said, hey, that's funny, what's your name? It's my name, so I did get away. And I was going to go, go get help, and I got across the street, and I was, try to take the shortcuts. Then there was these dogs, and they were barking guard dogs, like Doberman pinchers or something. And it was a whole thing perspective. If I'm all upset and kind of all stressed out and all this thing, I'm in real big trouble, the dogs are going to bark. But, when you're happy and everything's cool, the dogs, they wag their tail, they want to be your friend. So there's that sort of thing kind of going on, some sort of thing. I kind of hoping maybe that led to a little more purification, and maybe a little more about, you know, kind of like when I'm talking about things. It's like when your whole world's laughing. I mean, when you're laughing, the whole world's laughing. Yeah, but it's not very funny when the whole world's laughing at you and you're not feeling so great. You know, and that's another thing too. You know, it's another type of a situation. You know, but you know, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But what you really want to do is, you know, just concentrate. You know, as much as you can. You know, bring your mind back. It's a real difficult thing. That's another thing I wanted to talk about too, is that I was really, really upset about this thing and the way that I was treated, and this person actually ended up really being a kind of, you know, criminally minded activity anyways. But it was kind of like a movie I watched. I saw it. It's called The Witches of Eastwick, and what happened was Jack Nicholson, he's the devil, and these three chicks, you know, it's like Cher and these other chicks, whatever. They kind of get what they want from the devil, you know, they get babies and they get all this stuff from him, and then they kind of shout him on, and he's throwing himself down on the floor, having a complete fit. I'd break my back doing that kind of stuff, you know, his theatrics and antics, and, you know, this thing about women and that and the other thing, and, you know, it's all this stuff around. It's like really pretty funny. You know? But, you know, but there's a way to really open it. I was like, come on, ladies, please. You know. So anyways, I guess I kind of wanted to touch base on that a little bit. But those are kind of my perspectives on things, you know. And it's, it just requires another type of activity, you know, really get involved in something, get involved with some other people, you know, just, you know, get involved in something constructive and concentrate on that. And, you know, it takes some time, you know, to get off this other thing. You know, it really does, you know, especially when there's, you know, it's like, you know, such an intimate type of a familiarity. And now that is kind of like, you know, with something else, it kind of went another direction, you know, it has another involvement, you know, so that makes another sticky kind of a situation too, you know, it doesn't feel so good. But anyways, yeah, I just want to touch base and kind of relate that on that real quick. That's what I was kind of thinking. So, hey, I'll be getting at you later. Okay.
Hey, it looks like we're rolling again. It looks like we need to get some light again on the subject. So, yeah, so what we were saying, you know, I guess these were some life-changing events, you know, kind of opened my eyes, disillusioned me a little bit, really shook me up. I was really mad and upset. I was throwing myself down on the ground, yelling and screaming, all that kind of stuff. And, but yeah, you know, it took me a long time, had to get grips on it. And a real big clincher, the thing that really bothered me the most was, no one would want to know me when I was like that. I had to like, oh my God, you know. But it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes, you know. It's a hard thing to kind of get over, but this is what I really wanted to say, you know, about this thing here, about this self-effulgent knowing love forever. You know, that's the Satchitananda. That's actually the spiritual composition of the actual self. You know, and whatever happens, you know, you always be tight with me. You know, whatever course this thing takes, or whatever you decide to do, or wherever you happen to go, you know, you're always going to be tight with me. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure once this thing materializes, that devotee relationships, I'm quite sure that everybody will still want to be friends with each other, but not when someone, you know, is having a hard time with things. You know what I mean? So I'm quite sure after this thing, the whole thing materializes over as well. And we're all back effulgent and healthy and you know, really doing good again. You know what I mean? Those things will materialize then, but for right now, you got to do the yo-yo, the roller coaster, the will-o'-the-wisp, you know, the crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's really pretty much how we approach something, or reactions to things. You know, and with the emotions, man, they just go, man. And the whole thing about the way that the mind is actually really perceiving the material universe in our limited perceptual form, and this was the real clincher that really got me too, and this was just recently, is that this actually is our attitude. Is the perception of the universe itself and the reality that we live in, which is so much different than everybody else's. And yet we're all interacting. So anyways, that's what I want to say. So yeah, I'll check you out later.